Astrology isn't just about signs and symbols. It's a tool for navigating real life. Hello, and welcome to Astrology with Alisa. I'm your host, Alisa Dixon, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. I am so excited, you guys. On Monday night, my husband went deep, like Scorpio deep, into the internet. He was on a mission to find the birth certificates for my Italian grandparents, who were born in tiny little villages in Sicily. After hours of hunting down the right database, and apparently there are many, each tied to different regions of Italy, he used AI to help with translation, since everything was written in Italian. He searched through countless birth records, line after line, entry after entry, until he found 2 needles in a haystack. Birth certificates for each of my grandparents. One from 1905 and one from 1896. Can you imagine? Documents that hadn't seen the light of day in over a century, now in our hands. I've been dying to find this information for years, literally years. Ever since I started studying astrology, I've wanted to know their birth times so I could cast their full charts. I already had their dates of birth, and I knew where they were born, but no one in my family knew what time of day they were born, not even my dad. And without that, you can't calculate their rising sign or ascendant. You can't see the full energetic picture. Of course, I've cast their charts using what I had, and I could still glean a lot of information, but it always felt incomplete. That missing piece, the rising sign, the ascendant, it unlocks everything else. What houses the planets fall into, where their energy played out in real life, what areas of life held deeper meaning for them. I've been craving that insight, to know who they were, beyond being just grandma and grandpa, especially because I didn't know my grandfather very well. He was already 85 when I was born, and he passed away when I was 8. I've heard stories about him, but I never really got to know him. My grandmother, though, that relationship was everything. She lived next door to us growing up. Every morning, she'd wave to me from her window as I left for school. And every afternoon, she was waiting for me when I got home. When I was little, it was with cookies and milk. As I got older, it became tea and biscuits. Watching I Love Lucy together, and later soap operas during summer breaks. We would play cards, take walks. We would sing and play the piano together. She'd show me pictures of herself as a young woman, tell stories of beach trips with friends, how she wore a 2-piece bathing suit before it was considered proper. Apparently, she had a bit of a wild streak. She would tell me about meeting my grandfather, a doctor who made house calls, and how she became a school teacher, even though, as a doctor's wife in the 1940s, no one expected her to work. But she was fiercely independent, loved going out in New York City to shows and concerts, and eventually stayed home when she had my dad. She told me so many stories. But back then, she was still just grandma. Even when you're close, you don't always see the person inside the role. And in many ways, I was the daughter she never had. We were incredibly close. I had her in my life for nearly 21 years. She passed away when I was in college. And like so many of us, I didn't realize how much more I wanted to know until she was gone. So now, having her birth time and my grandfather's means I can know them again in a whole new way. Not through stories, but through their energetic blueprint, their soul's pattern. And here's where astrology comes in, with the poetry and precision that I love so much. Because this discovery, it happened on the full moon. Not just any full moon. The full moon at 22 degrees and 13 minutes of Scorpio. And if you know anything about Scorpio, you know it's all about digging deep, uncovering the hidden, and transforming what's buried. That's exactly what happened. We literally dug into old archives, translated long-forgotten records, and uncovered something powerful, emotional, and life-changing. It was the culmination of a mission I've been on for years. And Scorpio full moons are all about that kind of emotional intensity. Rebirth through loss, transformation through truth, a spotlight shining on what was buried in the dark. And here's another cosmic twist, because there was another player in this full moon moment, Uranus. During the full moon, Uranus was right next to the sun, opposing the moon. And if you've worked with Uranus before, you know it doesn't bring subtlety. It brings shock, revelation, sudden insight, an unexpected breakthrough. That's exactly what this was. I didn't go looking for these records that day. My husband did. For me, this came out of nowhere, just like Uranus tends to do. One moment, I was sitting at home, having a normal Monday. The next, I was holding century-old birth records in my hands. Records that I had wanted for years. And that's when it really hit me. This full moon didn't just hit me. It hit both of us, just in totally different but equally powerful ways. For me, it was emotional, spiritual, a culmination of something I've been chasing for years, added knowledge about my grandparents. This was the moment I finally connected the dots, from astrology to ancestry to healing. It was personal and sacred. And it was Scorpio style. Hidden things brought to light, depth unearthed, pain transformed into meaning. But for my husband, it was totally different. It was his chart that got lit up by the exact degree of the full moon. 22 degrees of Scorpio is the exact degree of his natal Venus in his birth chart. And in astrology, Venus is about love, what we love and who we love. As his wife, I am represented in that Venus placement. And this whole search, he did it for me. That's what's so powerful. He dove into the archives, sorted through centuries of records, used AI translation tools, all of it out of love for me, because he wanted to give me something meaningful. So while I felt this full moon through my tears, my memories, my deep Scorpio emotions, he lived it through action, devotion, and showing up in a quiet, powerful way. That's the duality of the full moon. One side of the sky reflects the other. One story mirrors another. It was emotional for me, and it was relational for him. And together, it was transformative. That's astrology. It's not just planets in the sky. It's how the energy moves through us, how it plays out in real life, how it connects people, and reveals meanings we didn't even know we were looking for. And once I had my grandparents' full charts in front of me, birth times and all, I started to see even more. The universe didn't just give me a moment of emotional closure, it gave me confirmation, patterns, synchronicities, connections that made me stop and say, of course. Check this out. You're not even going to believe this. Let's start with my grandfather. If you listen to the episode where I talked about Taurus energy and how the universe has surrounded me with Taurus energy my whole life, you'll love this. My grandfather was a Taurus rising. Just another beautiful thread in that cosmic pattern. And what's even more fascinating, his chart is lit up in the 6th house. The 6th house is all about health, healing, daily routines, and he was a doctor. His 6th house was ruled by Libra, which is about one-on-one relationships. So here's a man who spent his life working one-on-one with people to help them heal. It fits so perfectly. The chart just confirms what we already knew about his spirit. And then there's my grandmother. She was a Libra rising with her ascendant at 9 degrees and 4 minutes of Libra. And knowing her birth time means I can finally know the exact degree of her moon. And get this, her moon was at 8 degrees of Libra, exactly opposite my sun, which is at 8 degrees of Aries. That's wild, right? My sun and her moon in exact opposition. You know that saying about opposites attract? and how one person balances the other. This is that, but in energetic form. Her moon reflected the parts of me that I was growing into, and my sun lit up what she held deep inside. We really were the perfect complement to each other. No wonder we were so close. No wonder it felt like she just got me. There's something so beautiful about seeing that harmony play out in the stars long after someone's gone. And honestly, it just deepens the love and gratitude I already had for her. So, as you can probably tell, this has been an emotional and cathartic week for me. And chances are, this Scorpio full moon may have stirred up some big feelings for you too. Whether it came through a personal moment or showed up in the emotions of the people around you. This energy ran deep. This is one of those weeks when we really need to hold space for each other, to give grace, to soften a bit. Because even if people aren't showing their hand, they're likely moving through something tender beneath the surface. That's the nature of a Scorpio full moon. It pulls up what's buried, what we thought we had tucked away. This is what we call a collective transit. It didn't hit anything specific in my chart, but it hit my husband's Venus, and it touched my life completely. And that's the thing. Even if it's not direct for you, you'll still feel it through the people you love. So, Scorpio full moons, let's just say it's a good thing they only come around once a year. And just so you know, we're not done with surprises yet. This Saturday, the Sun and Uranus will meet exactly the same degree, same minute. This only happens once a year, and it keeps that Uranian energy alive and buzzing. So if you thought the full moon stirred something up, get ready for another ripple. This week is full of more surprises. So stay open, stay curious, and trust the shakeups. They're helping you break loose from what's no longer aligned so something better can rise. And one last thing, if this energy stirred something inside of you and you're ready for your own clarity or transformation, my website has just been updated and the booking page is now live. You can now schedule your own astrology reading with me, whether it's a natal chart, a relationship session, or a birthday year ahead. Go to www.astrologywithalisa.com and choose what speaks to you. I can't wait to connect with you. Talk soon and take care.